And we are live. Talking with Serious episode 208. This is the last episode of 2023. It has been amazing here, but this had to end in the best possible way. So, the best possible way is to have Hitesh on my YouTube channel. I still can't believe it, but let's see if that's real. So, Hitesh, please introduce yourself.
Hey, Francisco. Thank you so much for having me here. It is so much fun to have to be in our channel. And first of all, I would like to apologize. I didn't saw your message when I was in Rome. Otherwise, we could have that pizza together. But I promise. Next time, I'll be in Rome. I'll definitely ping you up. But sadly, I don't know how I missed it. It could have been such a nice thing. I was in Rome. I was in Vatican, Florence, couple of Naples, couple of places. We could have clicked a photo together. But anyways, it's like when you gotta meet, you gotta meet. So
Yeah.
finally, we are here on the channel. So thank you so much for calling me up.
Yes, just to give context, I sent this message not last week, but I think 5 or 6 years ago. So it's okay. It's okay, but because I'm sure that you get a lot of messages. I see a lot of people here, many,
Yeah.
many people. The
I would
man,
like
the
to
myth, the
start
legend.
with,
Yeah.
sorry for that. I would like to start by sharing one incident of the Italy because, you are from Italy. So I need to share this. So nobody knows about this. So it was when I was traveling to Italy, it was one of my dream, obviously, to be in Venice and have that boat ride, famous boat ride. I think if I remember correctly, you guys call it as gondolas. So I prepared a
Gondola.
note and it was kind of a dream thing, like I have to check this off. And there is a famous song, Italian song, O Sole Mio. So I
That's from
wrote that
that's
entire
from
song.
Naples. But yeah.
Yeah, I wrote that song to sing it on the boat. So during the boat ride, I stand up on the boat, started to singing it. That's where I loved the Italy because the entire people, all the boat riders, all the fellow members who were riding, they started singing with me. And it was such a great moment for me that, hey, uh, I don't know, it's kind of a fan moment that, hey, I'm here in the beautiful Venice, standing on the boat, singing their song, O Sole Mio, which is a very local legend song. And this is my small incident, which I will always remember about the Italy.
Yes, there is a rule. If you start singing "O Sole Mio" in public, we can't stop. We need to sing with you. So it's now you know that it's a rule. It's a rule in the Italian constitution. So that's that's the thing. But
Uh,
it's funny. Hope that you enjoyed your time in Italy. I also been to India. So since we are here talking about cultures, I've been 2 times in India, 2 times in Goa. I became addicted to Indian food, so biryani, mango lassi, many, many more things. Pani puri, one of my favorite things. So we can keep going and speaking about India and Italy if you want, and at some
uh,
point sharing more about your journey. I see many people here. I'm giving, since we are close to Christmas and close to the end of the year, I'm gifting away memberships while we are talking. So just be sure if you're subscribed, you can also get these free things. The chat is exploding, but I'll try to listen to put them all. Only one important thing: if you want to ask something to Hitesh, this is the opportunity for you, because I don't know if this will come back like soon again. So drop your question below, and then we can start. So Hitesh, I make these episodes because I'm really curious about how people get into tech, because I'm also a career switcher. I come from sports, and before joining the tech world, I thought that I was one of the few career switchers. So now I'm curious of like how what has been like your journey, and basically how did you get into tech? I'm super curious about this. Generally, I don't know the answer, so I want to really know from you.
Sure, sure. So I also switched careers quite a lot. I come from an engineering background, but I did my engineering in electronics and communications. So almost like a telecom sector. Uh, but I loved the programming, the way how it behaves and how you control it. In the early days, I started writing code in assembly language, which is not even a tiny bit fun. You have to pick up your registers, you have to pick your headers and add them. Whole of a nightmare. So I didn't enjoy the programming there. Then soon after that, it was in my curriculum to write programs on C programming language. That's where I found decent interest. Not fun at all. Managing your memories and pointers, no fun at all. Then I moved into the security domain, like cyber security and how to do the system level securities and all these stuffs. That's where I enjoyed a lot, and I got into the tech. I cleared my engineering with obviously good marks but in electronics. But I moved immediately after that into the cybersecurity world. Did there for a couple of years, pretty good those years. But then soon I realized that hey, programming has so much more power in it that I should not just keep it for the security only. I should move it more. So I started writing more code in the languages like Perl. Too old, man. I'm too old. And then moved into Python 2. And at that time, the transition was happening in Python 3. So that's where I first tasted the real power of the programming in Python. Then I realized I should do more. And I realized I can actually do more via the apps. So I switched into iOS and wrote like hundreds and thousands of lines of code in iOS development. That was also the time I was at the launch party of Swift. I'm that old. So I saw the launch of the Swift programming language. And it was the time when even switch case was not introduced in the try-catch. They, I don't know, forgot or something. And then the later 1.2 update, they introduced the switch in case. I'm that old. And then I wrote a lot of code in Swift and Objective-C a little bit. And that's when I realized, oh man, the apps are the way to go forward. And for years, I worked on iOS app, and that was the time when I started teaching. That was still not the YouTube, but I started teaching the iOS development. I was teaching on Udemy and a couple of US based edtech sectors and companies. That was pretty fun, and I loved that. iOS is still one of my favorite thing to teach and to enjoy. But then I realized you need to learn more. That's when I dived into the backend development and then moved a tiny bit in the front end. Of course, AWS, DevOps, and that's how I got started. But the YouTube journey was very late. I had my YouTube account way before then, but I never dropped any video on that. Some here and there, but that's basically how I started and transitioned into programming. It is a long journey, but I realized you need to evolve, man. There is no such thing as, hey, I learned this, I'll stay this with this forever in the life. No, man, this is not how it works. You have to keep on adapting, you have to keep on evolving.
Yes, absolutely. There is, I think that I don't know a single person in tech who says like, "Oh, I'm so bored." It's always the opposite. There is always something to learn. Always usually overwhelmed, or maybe we try to keep pace with at least one framework. But this is the nature of tech. If you like it, it's okay. Otherwise, you will have some issues because you really. And also, we saw this in 2023 how things get absolutely crazy with AI. I would say I had the developer advocate of OpenAI last week, Logan. So it has been really a roller coaster here, I would say. Also a bit unexpected, I would say, because I'm also thank you so much for keeping saying like I'm old, but like I was there with everything you said, so I am with you in this. And but and since the 80s, we will say like the AI will take over, the AI will take over the world, but it has been 40 years and we are still here doing, let's say, human podcast one-on-one. So we will see, we will see. We have some questions about AIs and we have many questions about the goals and so on. But before getting into that, I would like to know more about the title and the main topic of this maybe first collaboration with Hitesh, which is about your YouTube journey. I really felt when you said like I started YouTube late. I had the YouTube channel since 2010 and I made my first video in 2020. So I think that I know what you're talking about. And I'd like to know more about the why. I would like to start with the why because usually there is a reason why we start a YouTube channel. It seems for someone it's been easier, for someone it has been harder. So the reason why you started the YouTube channel and when, and then something like the very beginning, if you remember. And by the way, this guy has 1,500 videos now. So, but what about the first one you uploaded? Is that still available or not?
Yes, but I would not like to see that video. But yes, that video is still available. So I'll tell you what's the story. So during my college days, I started to help the community. And by community, I mean to say there were a lot of cyber crimes that were happening during that time. So I ran a couple of workshops to aware people, of course, for free, that how to escape from the cyber crimes. India was very new to the internet and a lot of crimes were happening. And during one of that, like cops used to call me like, "Hey, Tish, we are doing an investigation. Can you help me in that?" And all these things. So during that one of the service to the community, I got featured in a TV channel, and there was a bite. I came on TV. Like, It's a big deal, man. You come on TV." And then I wanted to show it to my dad because my dad was busy and he missed that bite. And I was like, I need to show him that I came on TV, Dad. I'm not just fooling around. I'm doing something. So I went back to the TV station. I said, "Hey, I need that bite where I was on TV." I requested them a lot, and they gave it to me on pen drive. Pen drive, and if somebody still uses that, and they said, "Hey, this is 1 GB pen drive, and here is your data." And I wanted to show it to my dad, but how should I show it to him? Like he was outside of the city. That's when I found out, hey, there's this new website known as YouTube. You can create an account on it and upload videos. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it. So I created an account, uploaded that video, and that was the only goal. I wanted to show my dad, hey, dad, I was on TV. That is my first video. That's how I started YouTube.
Wow. Wow, so I didn't know this. I mean, I heard many stories, but this is an amazing way to start a YouTube channel. It's, I mean, like using YouTube as a sort of like, say, maybe there was not like cloud back. So say, okay, let's just put it there. And
And my dad
wow,
literally watched it for 20, 30 times. And I was like, I'm happy now. My dad saw that I don't care about the world at all. My dad is happy. That's all matters to me.
wow, wow. So that was that. I think I would say a great start. And this is, but this is what I would always like preach. Like YouTube can be anything you want. This is the, let's say, the good thing of YouTube, that you can actually upload any video you want, a video you doing something else. It's freedom. It's the freedom of expression,
Yeah.
of doing something. So nice, nice. So I would like to know more about the YouTube structure. I see, for example, that you do videos on many different topics. I saw like different types of creators. I saw some creators who really skyrocketing on YouTube because they focus on one thing. They do, I don't know, a Python channel. They reach 100K in a few years. And that's one style. I'm usually not the style because I also, for example, do like this podcast, Docker videos, Rust, web development, blockchain, whatever. So I think that I am more in that direction. So how did you choose like all the topics, or maybe at the beginning, there was like maybe a series that you liked a lot because you published a lot. I think almost about any possible topic. I found a tweet of me on August 2020 that I recommend one of your Docker videos. I don't know if I
Yeah.
should find it, but this is crazy because I started my first video. It was 7th of August 2020, and I made this post on Twitter on the 22nd of August. I should find it. So I'd like to know, I don't know, a bit more, of course, maybe a compressed version of the all these maybe initial part, and then we'll step into
Sure.
more cool
So
stuff.
I think that actually relates to continuing my journey of the YouTube. So after that, for a few years, I forgot that even have a YouTube. So I forgot even my password. What was it? On the YouTube. I was using the Gmail at that time. YouTube was a different website. You had to have a different login. The flow of the Gmail was not there. Like you cannot just do a login with Google everywhere. So at that time, I forgot this and I was busy in teaching people in the United States more because I tried to sell my courses in India, but people didn't have internet in India that much. It was really a bad situation. Around 8 kbps was the ideal speed in India, which is not good for streaming videos or something. But my videos was liked a lot by in the United States by a lot of companies and universities. So they paid me and said, "Hey, Hitesh, you do videos for us." I never looked back. I started doing there. Then, of course, Gagan Biani reached out to me. He is the founder of Udemy, and he said, "Hey, Hitesh, why don't you join Udemy? And we have a good uh, good video segments, we'll sell your courses. I said, who will buy my courses? They said, no, there are people who will love to buy your courses. I said, okay, I'll give it for $10 or something if you can sell it. And within one night, he sold like thousands of copies. I'm like, oh man, Gagan, how are you doing it for real? Is this real money or something? Then I still remember I launched a course in $200 on cybersecurity, blew away the entire United States market. But that's when I realized that eventually there was an internet flood in India, which was like internet was getting cheaper. Now in India, we have the cheapest internet and the highest speed internet all over the globe. I realized that, hey, now there is a potential to reach out and teach my own audience, which is in India. So I should really focus on YouTube. That way I can just have free knowledge for everyone. That's when I started. I started posting a few videos. I didn't like it even a tiny bit. After 5 or 6 videos, I stopped posting the videos. I went to Amsterdam because there was a workshop by Casey Neistat. I went to that workshop to learn about what is filmmaking, how to record videos. I don't know anything. I have a really bad camera. And Casey Neistat was growing YouTuber at that time. Peter McKinnon was there. And I learned a lot of things during that workshop as an audience. I was sitting at the very last corner in Amsterdam. And I learned a lot about how to handle cameras, how to have color corrections, audio, a lot about it, learned all of that. And then I came back to India and I started YouTube. And I never say that I'll have a strategy for YouTube. I say, YouTube, it's fun. I'll do whatever I like. This is my playground. I will never make a strategy. And that's probably the reason why never one of my video like skyrocket and other videos. It was all steady and slowly growth. I said, I'll have fun on YouTube, nothing else. It's my fun playground. If I want to teach Docker, it's Docker today. If I want to teach iOS, it's iOS today. If I just want to talk about some engineering side of how browser works internally, I'll learn it, I'll teach it. That's what I do. So this was all about. I never had a plan. I never will have a plan for YouTube. It's all about whatever I like to do. Let it go with the flow. Sometimes people reach out, hey, Tesh, I'm having trouble in Kubernetes. Kubernetes it is.
I love this approach. I think that I can say this. I made 700 videos in about 3 years on YouTube. So we can say that I've been kind of active. That's like you're basically my idol. Basically, my final goal would be that. So having the total freedom of doing whatever you want, because I always preach for doing something which is sustainable. Because if you do something which is sustainable, you can do this for 20, 30 years. Maybe you'll be successful, maybe you'll be not, but at least you will never risk of burnout for doing something which maybe you like.
Exactly. Absolutely. You named it out, a burnout. I am never bored on YouTube. In every single video, I have the peak energy. I love because I'm enjoying that subject. Nobody's enjoying more than me. So that's what I do. That's what I like. It's never a burnout for me. Sometimes it's video making burnout, not the topic burnout. I'm having fun still to this date. And I still will never be on that phase like, hey, I'm a Python guy, I'll teach only Python. I'm a JavaScript guy, I only teach Python. Tomorrow, if there is something interesting in Rust, I'll jump into Rust. In fact, I did that for Golang.
Yes, let's not start a fight, of course. I made one video about Rust 2 weeks ago and one video about Go last week. So I like to experiment different technologies. So
that reminds me. I'll give you a hint. Just kill any language and your channel will get so much attention. I do that from time to time. I've killed Python. I have killed Java. I have killed JavaScript I haven't yet killed, but I'll kill it very soon.
Nice.
Just say Python is dead. Just say Java is dead, and you'll have fun.
Okay, basically. Okay, so I'm taking notes because I need to work on my YouTube channel. So I'll take notes, and if I need share them. And yes, so it's interesting that we have. I like this approach of like speaking like openly about some programming languages, and you're also learning, of course, in the process. Like languages, frameworks, they are alive. Like I tried, I don't know, the Angular 17 new features video. So like trying something which is new, I think it's exciting. So I know that from a marketing perspective, if you stick to a niche, your channel will get the algorithm. Yeah, that's from a marketing perspective. I'm not a marketing guy, I'm a developer. So I want to have the freedom to do whatever I want. Of course, I'll take this in consideration. I want to focus on what worked, but I don't know. You're giving me hope that this strategy, which is basically not having a specific strategy, can work in the long term, like in 10 years, in maybe in 5, it will work well because it gives me the freedom of doing basically whatever I want. I'm really enjoying this
You should really
conversation.
do that. I have a couple of my friends, big YouTubers, but their channel is known for specific thing. Like this is a channel for Java or this is a channel for Python. They don't say it anything about my channel. Hitesh is having fun. Let's just go and watch his videos. That's what I. And I think if you'll do it in the long run, you will enjoy it more.
Yeah, absolutely. So enjoying, I think it's one of the important things. This is also why I'm doing like videos of me trying stuff. Sometimes I mess up. Sometimes I do like long live streams. Now I'm more focused, really ready for 2024 to do something good. And yes, so it actually really enjoying this conversation. We have many questions. Let's see. Let's pick one to start.
Sure, sure.
Then we'll see. Okay, I love this one. Let's start with this one. Like, will jobs of web dev reduce because of AI? I don't know how many times you already answered to this, but I want to have this recorded on the channel.
No, man. I use AI almost day in, day out. And almost all of my friends who are in big corporate tech jobs, they use AI day in, day out. That's mostly Copilot or some alternative of Copilot by Amazon or someone. These are the things which helps you to be a little bit more productive. I just say that right now they're in the phase of intelligence on steroids, nothing more than that. And even on top of that, you have to find out which one is the correct one because it doesn't gives you always the right answer. In order to find what is the right answer, you need developers. So I don't think so AI is killing any job. AI will kill only that much of job of what calculator has killed for the maths job. So I think that's relevant. So don't worry about the AI. It will just help you to be more productive. The people who are on the 10x will become 20x. That's the only thing. And one more thing, neither the AI, nothing. You need web developers, not only just web developers, every kind of developers are required. Okay, let's just say you have Leonardo AI, very good AI, but where do you use it? On the web. Somebody needs to put those buttons to use those AI. AI might do your job, but somebody needs to build those buttons. Somebody needs to create those API calls. Somebody needs to design those models. Somebody needs to restrict those models. Somebody needs to check those securities. So engineers are not going anywhere. As long as I remember, it's not going anywhere. Just chill out. It's the phase. Companies have overhired on a higher prices. That's why you see these people firing. Google is under a lot of pressure of stock market. You are thinking everything as a perspective of just the jobs and companies and AI, but this is not how world works. The world works on the stock prices of the Google or Microsoft. Microsoft is not firing because their stock is doing well, and Google is firing because their stock is not doing well. So try to have a perspective of stocks as well rather than AI.
I agree with this. I'm old enough that when Google came out, said, okay, this is the end of development because now we can basically Google everything. We are still here. We are probably the most, the people who use Google the most, of course, because this is the nature of developers. Of course, development is evolving. It's probably evolving faster than other jobs, but we are here for that. We are here because we like this. We like to know new things, learning new tools every single day. And so that's as I said, part of the game, I would say. Love it. We have another question from Najmul. Sorry. Hi Tash, do you recommend building a big project alone as a beginner who wants to start their career in 2024? I've completed some of the project already, so like tips for people who wants to get started, like the size of the project. I don't know what do you mean by big, because big can also be a project of 200 people. So I don't know what do you mean by big, but let's try to discuss a bit about this.
Yes, I get it. I'll put it in on record as well. When you're learning something, maybe React, maybe backend, building the smaller projects gives you the idea of what potentially can be done in that tech. whether you're learning backend or front end. So start with building 5, 6, or 10 small scale projects, a few hundred lines only. But if you really want to master the tech, go big. By big, I mean to say the project should take you around 2 to 3 months to complete. And possibly, if 10 people can constantly use it from your family or from yourself, that's where you actually master the tech, because it's actually not about how much good tech you can build. It's all about how user interact with your tech. If even 10 users interact with your tech and they request the feature and you are able to build it, that's it, man. That's the end game. So go with the project which people can use. It's big or does have lots of features or not. That's when you'll realize what does it mean by scalability. What do you mean by reliability of a software? That's you'll learn a lot. So always look for something which people can use, even if it's a timetable for your college. Maybe you are putting a hub where people can upload previous year question papers, or maybe where people can share the notes with each other, or can share the timestamp of the YouTube videos. I don't know anything, but at least 10 people should be able to use your product, and that is the ultimate goal. That is the big how you should define it.
Really love this answer because it's very useful, I would say, and it's about focused on something for an extended amount period of time, so you understand many things, and then probably once you have a big project which will require maybe weeks or months, you will understand. Probably will also be able to explain some parts of this project. I'm always thinking as like a content creator, so probably you can make some small articles, some small videos on just some parts, and then probably make. I would recommend to just showcase more, just not building alone. You can do this, but it can be, let's say, sort of harder, I would say. I think that building in public, it can give you a lot of feedback of what you're doing, of course, depending on the project. But
And
yes,
and on top of that, I would add that just because you have built something and it is just in your laptop, you think that that's bad because it should not be in your laptop. So hey, let me put that on the GitHub. That is also not very useful. You have just moved it from your local host to the GitHub repository that nobody's using, nobody cares about that project. It's not good either. It's almost like your local host, but at a remote repository. A project is only good if it is usable, if it is deployed, somebody is using it. That's how the project should be treated as project. Otherwise, it is still your local host. If it is just on GitHub, it is on your local.
yeah, and this is exactly what like the tip that I needed like 5 years ago, because I started learning more in private because maybe I was scared that someone could steal my stuff, could I don't know, judge me for the code. I think that there are so many benefits of doing things in public. Of course, what you can, that this usually it's way better. At least some parts, especially for free marketing, you get people get more interested about this, and so yeah. So I think that it's very important to share it with the world. Nice. I was really enjoying. I'm happy, but I say also a bit sad because this is the last episode of 2023, of course. So we'll be back in 2024. So I would like to ask you a question. Usually, I ask questions, let's say, for beginners, for beginners, people who would like to start the YouTube channel as a developer. There are so many people. Twitter is crowded of people who want to start. That they made maybe 1, 2 videos and then they stopped. I put myself more, let's say, in a small but a bit intermediate because I have at least the experience. So since you're here,
You are
what do
pro,
you
man.
think?
With 700 videos, you are pro.
Yeah, no, but I mean, it's what is something that you would recommend? For example, this is specifically for developers who have some YouTube experience, but they want to level up. It's basically a question for me and also for people who are in my similar situation.
I would say I've always done it personally. First of all, don't get into the numbers game. That's when you are chasing the algorithm and algorithm is chasing you. So it's a circle round and round. Don't go for the numbers. Number doesn't really matter, man. You have 100,000 subscribers, you have 800,000 subscribers, doesn't really matter. First of all, enjoy yourself. And a lot of people suggested me, hey, these days it's a short form content, do the short form more, do the reels more. I did the opposite of that on my Hindi channel, the regional channel. I posted hour long video, 2 hour, 5 hours, 7 hour long video, and channel blew off. So whole idea is to connect with people, be in their shoes, try to see like what a beginner might be facing the problem and how can I solve this problem. If it's even it's a installation problem, make a video on that. If it serves one person to to solve the problem of installation, that is worth it. The YouTube whole idea was it blew off in the education space because somebody wanted to help a fellow student. That's how it started. So still to this date, the advice is, the whole idea of my videos is, am I adding value to my viewers? Am I making them realize something? Am I giving them some knowledge? Am I making their life tiny bit better? That's the whole idea. So I think that strategy has worked me. Didn't grow my channel, like I'm not at a million or something, but I don't really care. Even if it's a million in next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, no worries. I'm not going anywhere. I'm still enjoying. I'll still be enjoying 5 years down the line. Whenever that million mark achieve, it's not gonna be like after 500K, it's same, 600K same, 700K same, even 300K same, 100K. I loved it because there was a button. uh, but I don't think so. I'll be much more happy on 1 million would be good because there will be a button. But I would any day trade it off for having more interactivity with people. If YouTube says, hey, you have to give your buttons away and we'll give you the facility that in the live you can bring in one-on-one people and have a chat, I'll give it away happily. I think having interaction with people, being connected with them, and especially when you are walking around the street and somebody shouts out, hey, Hitesh, thank you. I think that's the biggest thing I have. So I think don't go with the numbers, the strategy. There is no strategy on YouTube. Just go for one thing: serve the audience. That is it.
Nice. I really love this approach, and because it really, as I said, gives you the freedom of doing whatever you want. And for example, lately I'm doing this more. Let's say I'm more focused on. Let's say I start from my knowledge and then I try to expand. For example, I like Docker. I think this is not a secret. And then I try to expand, trying different things. I don't know. I made a video like using Docker with Next.js. People say, "No, oh my god!" So I trying to do something like experimenting things, and things are going well, I would
This
say.
is exactly why people come. People don't come for Docker on YouTube. People don't come for Next.js. They already know it. People come for your experience. What is your experience? Can you share that? That is why people actually watch you and watch me, because it's not just Docker is already there on the docs. You can read them all about it. But the way how I'm explaining it, the pedagogy that I'm using, the analogies, the examples, the way how I'm explaining it, the way I'm making it more enjoyable and fun, and I'm putting an extra spice of my experience. That is the way. That is the way.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have so many questions. I'm trying to collect them all while we are speaking, but we will never reply to them all, but we'll try to reply to at least some of them. Also, I kindly ask you to not spam the question, of course, 30 times. That should, okay, I should have said this, but it's like normal, normal human, let's say, behavior. Thank you so much, Yoyake, for gifting away 5 memberships. I remember you that you should be subscribed to get the membership, of course. Um, so we had one question about the DSA. I had a college degree, so I studied DSA, but for example, I never created content about DSA. Now, I think since yesterday, I started people like asking for this. Maybe at some point I'll do something. But which is your point of view on DSA, data structure and algorithm? Are they important for web development? How maybe you can learn it, and also maybe I don't know, create content out of it? Do you have some of them? Yeah.
Yes, I in one of my last startup, which was acquired by one of the unicorn now, I had 3 courses. I taught DSA in Python, I taught DSA in Java, and in C++ as well. But hey, I'll tell you the whole story why you are getting so much of tweet. DSA is one of the biggest market in India. If you want to make courses and sell these courses, this is the highest of the market where you can sell it to college students. Nothing wrong in that. It's a big market. You really want to take a pie out of that cake. Uh, what I think really about DSA, I studied DSA during my engineering, during my master's as well. I think DSA, if you are thinking that as just a way to crack the interview, that's where you do really bad in DSA. but you study DSA to make yourself as a better developer, to have a better choices to pick from what data structure should I use. Is arrays are good or objects are good? Is sets are good or maps are good? Should I use a linked list or a hashed list? Which one should I use for? That's where you become good in data structures and algorithm. And coming to the question, is data structure important for web development? If you're using programming, that's where the data structure is important. It's not about building iOS app, front end, back end. No. You still don't understand the data structures and algorithm. It is implemented in the core of programming to pick better things, to pick better algorithms. Is quick sort better or the merge sort better? Is the bubble sort better? That's the programming. That's not your front end. That's not your web development. That's not your app development. That's not. It's as simple as it. Why can't you just zoom out and think for a second, where am I going to use it? So I, I think you get it. And now you can tell me, is it important on web development or not? I think audience can answer that.
Honestly, I didn't know this. I studied in the college degree. I think it's one of the few things that I learned because basically I made all the programming by myself. But interesting concept. We'll see. I made like a half promise today that like if I reach 100K, I'll probably release a video about DSA. People are really happy. But yes,
in every part of the world, DSA is just a subject. That nobody thinks more than that. But in India, it's a cult following.
Love it. Nice. Yes, let's see. But I now would like to take this as an example. For example, like how much do you get feedback, for example, for videos? Because, for example, lately I'm doing this a lot. Like I ask, like, what is a video that you would like to see? Like, would you like to me to use this language or that language? Sometimes I'm absolutely surprised. Like the video that I wanted to do is like the fourth option. It's like the least option. So sometimes I make these polls. I have like unexpected results. I'm following this way more. Now I'm getting way better results because, and of course, I choose the options. So I'll never choose an option that I will never make. But I say, okay, so I can do these 4 videos and I just do the most voted things. And then maybe I'll do this anyway in order. But do you like this approach? How much do you think that this might help you, like especially if you are a developer who also creates
I'll
video?
share some unheard advices on this part. Not advices would not be a correct word, just sentences. So what you will see on YouTube in the longer run is the folks who are curious. There are 2 types of people: the learners and the curious ones. The curious people are the most vocal people. So if you're planning a series, let's just say you plan a series on Next.js, for example. And on other hand, you ask them, hey, should I build Next.js or should I build something on Rust? People are crazy on Rust right now, curious. They don't want to learn it. They are just curious about it. On Next.js, there are a lot of learners who really want to go in depth and want to explore that and use it in their companies and in their production. So if you put a poll on Next.js versus Rust, Rust will easily win. But if you try to do tutorials on the very 4th video of the Rust, your views will die.
Interesting concept, and I like this separation, let's say, between curious people and learners. I made a video. My actually best video of my channel is actually doing Next.js and Rust. So I don't know. I made something good probably there.
Curious and learners, you sync them up.
So probably the secret is to mix both of the audiences. I always create content if I also like the content. I don't do this just for to please people. Otherwise, I will feel miserable. So I want to start teaching Rust because I'm also interested into it and the how it works. So probably I'll do more of this. But again, this will also.
I also did these. Like when I did the video on TypeScript, nobody was talking about TypeScript, and I said, "Oh man, this is like you have types now in JavaScript. Like what could be better than that?" I put up a video series, and still, if you'll see that in the initial few months, no views at all, nothing. And then I shared it on Free Code Camp. Initially, decent response, and then finally people realized, oh, there's a TypeScript series by Hitesh, and then it killed the views in even on the Free Code Camp. Same happened with my Golang series. Nobody was interested in Golang. I found it very interesting, so I made an entire series without worrying about views. And after that, I did a series on React Native. Like, I still think that mobile development is really, really amazing. I did that. Nobody's still watching it, but hey, I know eventually the views will come. So same goes for you. If you're interested in Rust, just don't worry about views or something. Just explore it, have fun with it. Never see the bar where it says views, and then eventually, if it will pick up, you will also have fun with it. So having fun is the most important thing.
Nice, nice, nice. Really, really love this. I feel, let's say, the on the same level of energy that we should. I also, as I said, I come from the sports. For me, even coding was boring, and now I'm very happy about this.
Just sorry,
And yeah,
which sport you were in?
I've been playing volleyball since I was 8, and I became a coach at 15, and I switched at 32. So
Oh,
I I need to code for 20 more years to make them like at the same level of how much I dedicated to that.
nice sports, man. Nice sports. Volleyball is nice.
Nice, nice. But I think it's also nice to think about our past. And for example, something that I also like to share is that I live in a family of teachers. My mom is a mom teacher. My mom is a math teacher. My dad is a gym teacher. Let's say personal trainer. So also this is also why I like doing YouTube. Like so, teaching things. It has been basically my life for most of my life, and I really, really love that. Nice, nice. Let's try to get some more questions. Let's try this. What is one technology apart from AI you guys think anyone should learn in 2023?
That's easy. Cloud.
I love this. I love this answer. Of course, I'm biased, says a Docker captain, and and yes. So I am with you with this. Anyone should learn. I mean, you already chose cloud, so let me go probably with let's say I like, for example, to create tutorials on like the connection and the concepts. Let's say for basically you can switch a language, but like you should know how to connect a front end with a back end, how to connect a backend database, so you are free. Then you can use low code tools, you can use a cool framework, you can use vanilla JavaScript, but the connection between the two with different technologies, it's basically one of the topics that I like the most. So probably I'll go as, and that's not really a technology, but let's say how the connections are done. And for me, I'll do this. I'll not say Rust because I'm also learning it. Probably it will be on hype, but I would like to always go to basics. I live on the mantra that fundamentals are fundamental. So if you learn them, you'll probably never be out of the game.
Love that. Love that. That's very unique take, and I think that's the foundation.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Let's see if I find one more. Time is literally flying now. It's like when we are with a friend and we are having a beer. Say, oh my god, 45 minutes already passed. It's the same feeling. I would say we'll probably soon also make another giveaway because I'm really happy today. We're closing this 2023 in a very great way. We have more than 60 people here. It's very happy. Suggestion on how to learn front end. If a person is starting out in tech and I'm interested a lot specifically in front end, I heard open source, networking, and learning public. So, how to learn front end? This is a kind of open question, so I'll let you decide if you want to focus on a specific thing, and then we'll see.
See, when you say I want to learn front end, of course, there are a lot of ways to learn it. But one thing which will never change, at least for the foreseeable future, are the three foundation: HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So you have to be really good in these three at its core. Now you can actually put some fancy things as as a sparkle on top of it, like you can add a Tailwind CSS, and then you can add Shad CN, then you can add React, jQuery, Vue, whatever you like. But if you really want to master the front end and be future proof, go with the foundation. Today it's React. Yesterday it was jQuery. Tomorrow it might be Vue. Things change. Things change around. Like all the React now, guys are switching to Next.js because it's a little bit better. Of instead of being a library, let's use a framework. So that's how it is. And I'm pretty sure, like Solid.js, if you have ever used it, I know most of you haven't. If you'll try Solid.js once, you'll see, oh man, why I was in Next.js. Solid.js gives so much of the headache-free code writing. So all I'm saying is, if you want to be good in the front end, just learn four things, which I always mention: HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and browser. If you know your browser, that's where the magic starts. If you know that how does a browser pull in HTML as a document, or even renders HTML as a C++ code, converting that into a node list, that's where you shine. Or if you understand, when your browser makes a networking request, how does it paints the DOM, and what happens when there's a JavaScript which is coming in the network, and in the meantime it makes a request call for CSOM. So this is where you shine. If you know your browser, which is an entire operating system, how does the network makes call? How can I simulate throttling? How can I make my API calls better? How can I make my APIs more lightweight? And there's so much more in the browser to explore. Even if you follow some of the people who are in the Google's Chrome team, they from time to time submit you that now you can do this, now you can change your request headers, response headers within the Chrome itself. These are game changing strategies. So always focus, if you really want to be in the front end, know your browser. That's where you should shine. And if you wish, you can check out one of my video on my English channel, which is how browser works engineering side. And you will be blown away that so much of the things happen just with a simple HTML, CSS, JS page. So that's my takes.
I really love this answer, and probably I'll try to find this video. But it's true. It's true that understanding the tools and how they work, because you didn't mention like a single technology. This is a concept. So it's you didn't even mention a browser, and this is what I really like that you said. Learn your browser, because I think that sometimes as developers we are too stick like to fighting about a framework or things, or fighting. I mean, we are developers. It's like I don't know, having a football team, and you have,
Yeah,
we are
it's our
React
right.
JS team. It's we call it like bar arguments in Italy.
Yeah.
Like we like to fight about this, and I think it's fine. So life is less boring. But when we want to learn, we should understand that concepts are what will always win, because tomorrow someone will release, and it's probably likely to happen, another JavaScript framework, and then everybody will jump on this. Everybody will create videos about that, and that's okay. But understanding the core concepts, it's what will really, I think, give you like a long way, even if you want to learn, and or if you want to share this on the YouTube channel. Really loved this answer. It might even become a short. I don't know. I'll try. I want to try this experiment too, maybe. But yes, nice. So, Hitesh, I'm really enjoying this conversation. So thank you so much, of course, for coming here. I know that you don't need a shout out from me, but if in
Of
case you
course, I
lived,
always need.
yeah, no, I like this approach. That if you lived under a rock, probably you should check the Hitesh YouTube channel, and now a world will open up for you. So that's it. I want to take maybe one more question, and then we can start to wrap up and close this 2023 Talking with Francesco series. Let's see. Uh, let's see. We have one more. I don't know if have you ever tried the HTMX or not? Interesting
Yes,
question.
just this week only. I was exploring it. Uh, like HTMX is something I think, hey man, are we going back into all PHP days? Like that was the first thought. Like why we have done so much of circus when we have to go in the HTMX ways and the PHP ways and server functions. Like oh man, like I haven't explored it yet so that I can make a comment on it. But it was a fun. At first, I thought it's just a meme. I thought it's just a meme.
Same,
It's,
same.
but then man, this is serious. We have a website for it. We can learn it. Like, oh man, this is like me, totally me. It's not a meme. You can actually learn it. So I started exploring it in this week only. And it's surprisingly good. It's surprisingly good on the very first look. Not yet have dived deep into it.
Nice. Yes, I just watched a single video and I checked the document for 5 minutes. I said, okay, so this need to be put somewhere, and probably I'll come back to this when I have some extra time. But I don't know,
I
at some
skipped it
point.
so long just thinking it's a meme. It's not a real thing.
I think their marketing team is a poor genius, like poor geniusness. But let's see, let's see. They are trying to make some noise in a strange way, and we will see. Nice. Let's try to. I want to take this one because I think it's technical from ITRR again. Let's try to take a couple of more if you have 5 more minutes. Great advice from both of you. You told HTML, CSS, and JavaScript browser, but it isn't necessary to learn in so depth because I'm not understanding how things work internally. So, what's the level of knowledge do you think that we need to basically at some point move on? This is a bit harder to answer, but let's
Oh,
see.
that's very quantable, very judgeable as well. I think it's all about your curiosity in your free time because everybody starts with learning HTML, CSS. You know your basic JavaScript, how internally works, how the API calls are being made, how the timers and everything, queues and everything works, and you start building your projects. But the thing which I said about the browser and to learn it, this is all your free time and your curiosity, and there is no limit to the curiosity. I still to this date learn so much new things in the browser that happens and what could happen. Like I was still trying to figure out, can I replace somehow V8 engines? Recently explored the Safari engine which is there. So how is it different with the V8 engine? Being spending decade in the industry and still not able to figure out these questions and answers on top of the head. So there is no such criteria that hey, this is only the depth which you should go. It's all about your curiosity. Are you engineer by heart? Are you really engineer there? It doesn't really matter about the degrees or something. Are you engineer by heart? That's where your curiosity matters. Otherwise, if you even don't know this, that's fine. I have met SDs, SD2, 3, even the staff engineers who don't really know these and don't care about them as well. Their life is pretty fine, doing pretty good in the salaries and the bank accounts. So you don't need to know that. It's all about, do you care about them? Does it make you curious?
Love it, love it. And yes, of course, there is not an answer for this. Probably from how I am, I like to understand how things work. This is probably why I'm a so huge fan of Docker and DevOps, understanding how more things work that like poor coding like crazy. I like to understand things. So probably if you're curious enough, probably this is a good
Uh,
bet, let's say, for the
you
future.
reminded
Yeah.
me of the Docker. So the moment people see the networking in Docker, that's where they most of the time fell in love with Docker.
I think I made a networking video, a networking short about Docker some days ago. And yes, this is where you understand things, I would say. So thank you. I'll share more about this. And this is probably one of the parts that are more very, very fascinating. We have so many questions. Let's try. Which are your thoughts about blockchain technologies? I don't know. Have you tried them? Like basically Web3, so blockchain technologies. Have you tried some of them? Did you make some content out of it? Or what do you think will be the future, if there will be future?
No, I haven't, but I actually worked with a YouTuber. His name is Naveen Reddy. Big channel with Telescope with the name, I think 2 million or something subscribers. Uh, we worked for the same company for like few good months, 6 8 months, and I was constantly in touch with him every single day. And he was very very aggressive on the blockchain, talking day in day out. He even rolled out a course on the blockchain as well. So I was following him very closely to find out and spark my curiosity about the blockchain and stuff. Uh, but I didn't found it that much interesting. Personally, it didn't spark any curiosity in me. It's good tech, but I didn't enjoyed it that much. I find even the torrent technology much fascinating. I did a couple of research paper work on the torrent tech. The torrent for which it was used was bad, but the tech itself is fascinating, man. So on the Web3 part, I never got curious, so never built any content around it. If it doesn't excites me, I'm not gonna put any content on it.
Yes, so on my side, you know that I've been a fan. I'm still, let's say, a fan of understanding the knowledge. Of course, you should understand the difference between investing in crypto and understanding the technology behind that. Now I'm creating less content out of it and more focused on what I like more, let's say, so web development and Docker. Probably in the future, I'll go back. I shared my thoughts on these multiple times, but the long story short is that it's still a very early technology. They had an hype in 2022. I know because I've been there, been to conferences. One of the reasons why I'm getting to India is because there was a Web3 conference in Goa. So this is one of the reasons why I came to India 2 times. So this is already worth learning blockchain. And but yes, we'll see in the future. And probably
Yeah,
we need to more like a North Star application when we get
yeah.
inspired. That's my idea.
I actually said this to Naveen also, that this uh, this money thing, uh, this coin thing is probably the best and the worst thing that happened to the blockchain, because it got in so much of the hype because of these coins that I can make money out of the blockchain. That's why it got its hype. And probably that's the worst thing that happened to this tech, that only people with the money mindset came into this tech and spoiled it entirely. If it could be just as a tech and the money could be just a byproduct, just like the web, it happens, I think this technology could have done so much better. But only people like, let's make money out of it. Let's make money out of it. I think that killed it.
I think you have a point here, and also stayed a bit away from there. From that, I wanted more to learn stuff. I still want to learn stuff, but I'll do this more, let's say, on the side for now. Last question. I think that I lost where they asked about this, but it was about like New Year resolutions. So like, which is the plan for 2024? And then we close this amazing conversation. Hitesh, I really enjoyed this so much. Thank you.
My only resolution for the next year is to uh, just hit the running more and start my basketball game again. That's the only one, because YouTube is no resolution. It's fun. I'll enjoy it here. The education part, the making content, that's fun. That don't need a resolution for me. I'll anyways put videos. I'll have fun. I'll have live streams and all of these funs. What's important for me this year is start my basketball game again. I'll hit the stadium again. I'll start that. That's my resolution.
I really love any resolution that involves sport, so it's okay. For me, the idea is to now focus on YouTube, but we have different goals, so we'll see. Ideally, I would like to double, but it's as you said, it's more like a game and for having fun. Of course, they are just vanity metrics, just to have some fun. And so, Hitesh, really enjoyed this. If you would like to leave maybe a final message, especially for YouTubers who are also developers, they are trying to create something which is meaningful for the developers community. So we can this time close the the
All I can
podcast
say
for
to
real.
all the people who are trying to make it in YouTube is have fun. That is the most important thing. It doesn't really matter you are creating content around Rust, WordPress, or JavaScript or Python. In the long run, have fun, because that is going to stay with you. If you can craft in such a way that you can convert this knowledge into a paid course or a cohort session or a live session or mentorship session, that will support you more in the monetary terms. So try to do this so that you can have this fun every single day with your folks. So never be afraid of charging people for some of your time. That's obviously have fun. Have fun. That's the only thing. The growth will happen one day or the another. It will come. Somebody will notice your channel, will give you a shout out, or eventually audience will notice you. My channel is still one of the underrated channel in the tech. Only those who are deep into the tech knows about me, but eventually they find me.
Yes, yes. So we need to get him at 1 million as soon as possible by the end of of January, as soon as possible. And yes, I think I have to say that I've been following you way before I stepped into tech. So your videos helped me a lot in the past, even when I was not like this a social media guy and a public speaker. So the real reason why I wanted you here is that to thank you really personally. Your videos are super useful.
Thank you
Yes, you
so much.
have.
This is exactly why I make videos. It helps people. And for the 1 million, don't worry. I'm here. I'm gonna be here. I'm not going anywhere.
Love it, love it. So, Hitesh, thank you again. Please check him out. We need to get him a bit more active on Twitter, but that's my evil plan to do more collaborations on Twitter. So we will see. But we see him sticking more around there, and so that's it. But thank you so much for everything you did for the developer community so far. Amazing. I love the mindset. I love everything you do. I'll try to follow along all your journey. I really wish you best of luck for your courses, everything you want to achieve. We need a series with Hitesh, probably because he told me some stuff like behind the scenes that probably deserves 2 or 3 more episodes. But for now, I'm happy for this. We crossed 1 hour, but now it's time really to say bye. Thank you so much for
Thank,
coming. I hope you
thank you so
enjoyed. Yeah,
much. Thank you so much, everyone. And show him some love from India as well. Share this video out, hit the subscribe, and share him some love from India. We are pretty generous in that. So show that in the comment section as well.
absolutely. 25% of my subscribers are from India, so it's it's actually a thing, I would say. So thank you and bye everyone. See you in 2024 with the Talking with series. Bye bye. Bye bye.